engagement. So for about 2 years, I was just staying at home. In the morning, I come down to my parlor, sat down looking at television. My children would be interested. They'll pass me. Yeah, Baba, you will not tell us bye-bye. I said, okay, bye-bye. When they come back in the evening, they will equally meet me at the same place. And they say, Baba, you're not going to tell us welcome. I said, okay, welcome. Then I started lamenting. Is it how I am going to spend my retirement? And to God be the glory. In 2020, January to be precise, I received a call from a known person that I have been invited to attend a program at Voodoo. Wow, I was excited. Indeed, before then, I had received a text from somebody, my former subordinate, that he recommended me to an organization. So, of course, I was anxious waiting for that call. So eventually the call came in. And guess what? The call was coming from no other person than Dr. Tony Akabono. So, of course, I didn't waste time. I made sure that I attended the program and attended right on time. I was even panting that I would have been locked out, but fortunately I got there, and behold, I was ushered into suite 5. I think there it was the VIP platform. So of course I listened to the presentation. I said, which one is this? Fortunately for me, from my background as an accountant, I looked at it and said, okay, this one seems to be real. It seems is system-based, and as if human manipulation is very, very minimal. So I said, well, I have lost a lot of money here and there. Losing additional sum will not make any difference in my life. So when they call for 1, 2, 3, I said, okay, I indicate, I said, let me start with 3 accounts. Indeed, let me try whether it's real. So I opted for 3 accounts. And of course, it was the same Dr. Tony that closed me up. I went to fill the form, and still Dr. Tony on the veranda opposite suite, was it suite 204? That was at Bahamas. Sorry for the mix-up. So he now beckoned on me that, the way he's looking at me, I can go for 15 accounts. So I looked at him and took him very seriously, looking at his gray hair. So I said, okay, what is it? So I now went for the 15 account. But I had a challenge. Shortly after I signed up, I had a visa to travel to Cairo on medical tourism. So I told him, I said, CEO, this is my challenge. And he said, okay, no problem. I should get a hard drive. You will allow me to copy all these things so that while I'll be at Cairo, I can watch it and listen to the videos. So, of course, before I left Cairo, I now drew up my contact list. Then I think it was 35. So in drawing up my list, I focused on 3 categories of people. The first category of people are my personal friends. Then the second category are my children. Then the third category are people that always beckon on me for one help or the other. And let me take you back. When I was waiting for such an opportunity, I was wondering, because my salary during the service was a paltry sum of 335,000 naira for a whole month, even attending the position of director, which is highest in the Federal Civil Service. So the pressure that was beckoning on me then, I said, can I meet up these bills, because money was no longer coming in. It was just the paltry pension. Guess what? My pension was only, and up till now is the same, 129,000 naira. So there were a lot of demands coming even from the village community, coming from town meetings, even in the church. So it was when I got this call that I was actually excited. Saying, thank God, God has given me an opportunity to make money because looking at my package so far, I don't know how far it can take me. So I deliberately, in those three categories that I mentioned, my personal friends, I put them on the list. Those people who have been beckoning on me for one support or the other, they were there. And then my children. So, and of course, I left. Fortunately for me and Dr. Tony being selfless, he went over my list. And fortunately for me, even in my absence, so many people signed. And up to now, so many of them are still very active in my team. The challenge I had first was with my children. When I put my children, some of them, they felt, they are grown up big girls. Like my first daughter said, Baba, look at me very well. You want me to sell products? I said, okay, fine. You don't want to sell products, it's all right. So as God may have it, during the COVID era, all my children were under the roof. So I was busy studying in my office within the house. And my last daughter, whom you know by name Faith, and my daughter-in-law, they saw me. Say, why is Baba so serious reading this thing? And they peeped on me, saw me listening to some of the videos. Then they beckoned on me, Baba, sign me up, sign me up. So I was encouraged, I signed Faith. Then my daughter-in-law too, who came with the husband, of course, as husband and wife, they were always sleeping in the same room. They were broke. So when they discovered that when I signed Faith up, she got some money. So the daughter-in-law said, Daddy, please sign me up too. I can do it. I can do it. So I got the opportunity to sign her up. And behold, in the night while she was sleeping with her husband, she got a alert. And the husband who was broke then saw the alert, said, So very early in the morning while I was in my study, my son came, Baba, sign me up. Sign me, I read computer science. I can do it. Eventually, I signed it. And that is how I now signed all the other children, one after the other. So I signed my wife. I have 6 children. All of them, I signed them up. My wife making 7. And I have 3 grandchildren. I equally signed them up. Then, of course, I have 4 business names. I equally registered the business names. Guess what? And of course, the style of the SST team will always go for the bigger one. Dr. Tony was urging us, we have to do 15 accounts. Indeed, we went even beyond 15 accounts. He said you have to do mega. Even mega alone, it gives you at a go 24 points. So most of the members of my family, we didn't know when we became silver executive and gold executive, because to get silver executive, you just need 10 points. So by the time somebody sign up with a mega account for all the 15 accounts, you get 24 points. That means you are automatically a silver executive plus additional 14 points to help you move to gold executive. So that was my experience with members of my family. Then some of my friends, of course, they believed in me. Somebody whom knew that I traveled to Cairo. When Dr. Tony called him, he equally showed up. Initially, he was reluctant. He said, no, I know Dayar is at Egypt. So eventually, he still tried to call me. I was then at Egypt. I called him back with Egyptian line. He was not responding. He thought maybe it was a scam. So eventually, when I sent him text, he said, no wonder somebody called me. So I will go since I've heard from you. Eventually, he came to sign up. So many of my friends and those people who signed initially, they sign up even when I didn't follow the system by sending them text message, but as God may have it, and maybe because of the professional touch of Dr. Tony, they responded, most of them. Behold, we stayed for about 1 month, 2 weeks in Cairo, came back in the second week of March. And we remember very well that by April 2020, we had this COVID and I was locked down. But behold, lockdown or no lockdown, it didn't hinder our progress. Of course, in the Sport Success team, we were always going for cell meeting. I mean, physical cell meeting. And that facilitated our growth. So many people, thank God, because of the confidence people had while we were in the service. So many people responded to our list. And behold, people were coming, people were signing up. Before I knew it, in July 2020, I got the position of global ambassador. And of course, the money were coming. And I said, wow, this is a big relief. And initially I said, okay, certainly age is now on my side. I may not be able to run this program for long. Now that we were told that you can do the business 2 to 4 years, you will have passive income. I said, okay, I will work towards that. But behold, the major challenge some of us, particularly the senior citizens, encountered was that those people that answered our call by signing up as a result of our invitation, so many of them, they didn't expect too much work. They believe I say, okay, when you sign into this business, so will sign, and then you start making your money. So at the end of the day, they came at first in large numbers, but as time may have it, they started disappearing one by one. So we were wondering, say, what is the matter? And of course, even me that I'm speaking, I discovered that this thing get work, and after spending 35 solid years, and now some of us, we are approaching 70, so wow, can we be able to sustain it? So we didn't know the way forward, but thank God until of recent, we got to know that we should not focus on the money to start with. We should focus on building structure. So structure that are people based. So I want to encourage some of us on this call that we should not look at the money we are getting. Let's focus on building solid structure by having particularly young ones to drive this process. And by so doing, I think we'll come to a level where we'll get passive income, because we all know now that network marketing, there is work. That work in that network is real. So at the beginning, if you just fold your hands, you will not expect miracle to happen just like that. You just have to do the work. So I think in a nutshell, that is my history. My technical assistant is busy with the technology. Let me find out from him whether I can now migrate to my slides.